we will discuss receipt transaction that involves one sub-ledger account only. For these receipt transactions, there will be 4 dialogues, and at times 5 dialogues, each requiring minimal amount of data to capture. Dialogues. 1. Type of transaction. 2. Attributes of transaction. 3. Sub-ledger account and amount. 4. Pay-receive methods. 5. Optional GL entry. Let us consider the transaction. Cash received from Adam Expo 7,500 rupees on 30th of April 2023 at Colombo. Under Financial and Material Management System, under Financial Process, cashiering the function to process customer and general receipts can be found. In the first dialogue, system will list the type of transactions, document transaction, that are set up for posting. Each transaction varies by purpose and other attributes. We are choosing the transaction type customer receipt that does not require approval or confirmation by any other person. In the next dialogue, processing of transaction commences by accepting the attributes such as cost center, date of the transaction, narration to identify the transaction, and upload or scan manual documents related to this transaction. Voucher date is 30th April. Can add comment. You can scan document or assign scan file already in your file. In the third dialogue, sub-ledger account and the amount in the account currency need to be specified. Whether sub-ledger account is debited or credited depends on the transaction type. We pick Adam Expo as partner code and default sub-ledger account trade debtors is used and the currency of account is LKR and it is a credit to the account. Next dialogue. We specify how we receive the funds from Adam Expo. Default method is checks, but we chose the cash option for this. Collection point. That is where the cash collected will be available to balance cash and verify cash balances at any time is defaulted to Colombo. Default collection point is from the user location specified elsewhere as Kandi. This defines default for the users the cash collection point they are attached, stores they are normally attached to, and the cost center they are attached to. This will default in the transaction. When they are transferred, YIs can be changed. However, in the transaction, they will be allowed to change. Since the debit and credit is matching system, will allow confirming by clicking Create button. It will generate transaction number of the transaction and display and print accounting voucher and receipt. If the parameter is set, it will instead of print, view will directly print in the default printer only the receipt. Receipt format can be customized. You can enter the next transaction of the same type or choose another transaction type to enter. Let us consider another transaction. Check is received from our customer Adam Expo for 100,000 rupees at 30th April 2023. In the enclosed advice, they have specified that it is payment against the invoice number FFA 2023-1 dated 30th April 2023. In addition, they given cash of 10,000 rupees to settle fully the FFA invoice. First dialogue date and narration. Second dialogue partner account and amount, which is total of both check and cash. In the third dialogue, first entry is for check. For check payment, check number, check date, drawn on bank and drawn on branch code is available in the checks. These are mandatory as 1. We need to prepare the deposit slip by the system on the date of the check if post-dated, and to dot we need to identify them and determine customer, transaction and amount by system itself if the check is returned, and 4. If the bank send a statement with each check deposited as single entry by the system itself. System also defaults the bank account to which it will be deposited normally. However, this can be changed at the time of depositing. Checks will not debited to bank account as they are still in hand and will go into an account instruments in hand. Second entry for cash of 10,000. We want set off the invoice against this receipt. We click Create and Set Off. System will show the sub-ledger account transaction created that can be set off. On selection, it will show the debit transaction that have balances. As this is a credit transaction, can select multiple transaction and the amount against each transaction. But only one was selected. Calls makes a deposit of 250,000 on 30th April at Colombo with two checks of 150,000 check dated 2023-4-25 and other for 100,000 dated 10th May 2023, a post dated check. Capturing the post-dated checks in the system has multiple advantages, especially if it is against invoice. 1. Debtor's statement will show collection, and the salesman need not follow up not using his personal notes, but using the system. 2. On check date system will show in the deposit slip, and the cashier could decide whether to deposit or not, sometimes have to be delayed because the customer says not to deposit. 3. It will not remain in somebody's drawer and forgotten. A check was received from East West Trading for rupees 450,000 with check 71351263456323 dated 25th March 2023 along with a withholding tax certificate of 50,000. Amount to be credited is 500,000 rupees. That is the value of check plus the value of tax certificate. We need to pass GL entry for the tax amount. Reference could be tax certificate number. Check details in the funds received method. Cash amounting to rupees 10,000 has been received from the ABC Stationeries, Colombo from a disposal of unused stationery. And in the GL entry, credit miscellaneous income type. In this receipt, since there are no sub-ledger accounts to credit for funds received, it needs to be credited to a general ledger entry. It may be difficult for a cashier to know the general ledger numbers, but income and expense type is easier to remember. He could choose miscellaneous income, and he could choose from a list which we defined elsewhere to specify income expense account in common parlance and the associated general ledger numbers. This pic will post the correct GL numbers. Let us consider another transaction. One of our customer Adam Expo directly deposited LKR 10,000 to our BOC 377 bank account on 30th April 2023 and sent the deposit slip to us. First two dialogues of the transactions are like previous ones. On the take method dialog, for this transaction type, it is defaulting to check. We have to change it to direct deposit, or we should have another transaction type defined.
For this transaction type, default bank account into which it is deposited is commercial bank, but the customer has deposited to our Bank of Ceylon account. We change to that one. You can observe the collection status to this transaction is deposited, which means that the instruments in hand is not debited like other check receipts we processed, but directly debited the bank account as it has been deposited. This transaction processing could be delayed. A daily bank reconciliation is done as it can be credited to the customer when bank reconciliation is performed.
Our customer called transferred on line 75,000 on 30th April to a commercial bank account and sent our advice to us. Please note the changed take method and collection status. This transaction processing could be delayed. To daily bank reconciliation is done as it can be credited to the customer when bank reconciliation is performed. Receipts could be uploaded from Excel if the data is in an appropriate format. Appropriate format will be as follows. Under Financial and Material Management System, under Financial Process, Financial TX, the function to upload receipts can be found. At the end of the day, in each cash collection point, physical cash, checks and credit card slips collected by each user should be matched with the physical cash and instruments collected by cashier. System produces a collection reconciliation report for this purpose. If a chief cashier takes over from individual cashier when there are many, this report could be used. Under Financial and Material Management System, under Financial Process, Cash Balancing and Banking the function, Collection Reconciliation Report can be found. It will produce a summary report and a detailed report. At the end of the day, cash in each collection point should be matched. A cash balance report is available for this purpose. Under Financial and Material Management System, under Financial Process, Cash Balancing, and Banking, the function for Cash Balance Report can be found. It will produce a summary report and a detailed report. Cash transactions should be real-time. That is, no back-dated transactions can happen. But this could happen if some collection points do not have access to system. Manually recorded transactions may be posted subsequently. Cash balance is maintained in the system based on voucher date. As such, transactions posted on a given day may have backdated transactions for some collection points. Therefore, inflow-outflow based on transaction posted on give day may not match what is in the cash balance ledger for given collection point. But system will match the backdated and real-time transaction amounts with what is posted on the given date. Whatever cash collected should be banked. System provides the function to process banking cash to the bank account. Under Financial and Material Management System, under Financial Process, Cash Balancing, and Banking, the function for Cash Balance Report can be found. We choose the partner account Commercial Bank and the default partner account Current Thsi. If the cash balance is displayed for Colombo, it will show zero balance as whole collection has been deposited. In practice, end-of-day cash balance will not be zero as the cash collections of the previous day will be banked next day. End-of-day balance should be that day's cash collection. On a Saturday, it may be both Friday and Saturday collections. At any time, checks in hand could be listed in the system. It has two lists, one for checks that can be deposited and the other for post-dated checks. For depositing, Chief Cashier found that check number 7048501234456 has an alteration not countersigned by the signatories. Therefore, decided to return the check to the customer. Check deposit slips need to different for same bank checks and different bank checks. Therefore, choice should be made whether same bank check or different bank check. Same bank check was chosen. Deposit date is the date on which the checks will be deposited to the bank, probably next working day, and the values date is the date on which the funds will become available. These are same bank checks, which will realize the same as the date of deposit. List will be arranged by collection bank branch and check number, and they can be ticked as the physical checks are verified. System will update the status as deposit slip generated and produce a slip that will list the checks. This slip can be submitted to the bank along with air deposit slip with only date and account number and the total amount. If we list the checks in hand now, it will show checks for which the slips are generated and just received once. You can see the difference. One check that was returned without depositing is missing in the list. The deposit slip generated check is in a different list now. Next day after the deposit is made and bank accepted the deposit slip, deposit slip need to be confirmed. In the same function, option is available for listing checks for which deposit slips are generated and the corresponding financial transaction. When confirmation is performed, bank will be debited and the instruments in hand will be credited. In the bank ledger, both value deposit date and value date will be present and bank reconciliation value date will be used. There are times when the generated slip may not reflect what happened when we deposited due to a variety of reasons. In this case, we need to cancel generated slip and generate new slip. First, let us generate the deposit slip for other bank checks. We have generated a deposit slip to checks drawn on other banks. Deposit date 30th April and value date 2nd May. It was decided OE of these checks that hope to deposit into the commercial bank to be deposited into the bank C loan account. First, the generated slip needs to be cancelled. There are two checks to which the deposit slip was generated in a single transaction. Therefore, both will be cancelled. Now we need to change the bank account into which one check is to be deposited need to be changed to Bank of C loan account and the other one deposited. After changing the bank account of one the checks, other one was deposited to commercial BNAC account. Now the deposit slip can be generated for the Bank of C loan account for the check we transferred to it. Observe the deposit date and value date. Value date is the date on which it will be realized and the date which will appear in the bank statement. This is the date that will be used in the bank reconciliation. In Sri Lanka, if you deposit the checks of other banks, our bank will require 2 bank working days to clear. If the calendar is set up, when the deposit date is specified, system will default the value date. It can be varied by the user. Deposit default date is process date. If calendar is not set up, it will add 1 day to the deposit day. Calendar should be set up to avoid manual entry and have difficulties in bank reconciliation. In the calendar, 30th April is Sunday and no clearing, even if deposited. It will be sent for collection on 1st May. But 2nd May is not a clearing day, and therefore it will be cleared only on 3rd May. If you observe the bank ledger for each transaction, you could identify the voucher date and the value date. When the deposit slips are generated and later confirmed, system will make entry in bank ledger. Bank ledger entries need to be matched with bank statement. To automate bank reconciliation, bank ledger entries should as much as possible match with bank statement in amounts and value dates. When multiple hecals are deposited, some banks provide only one entry per deposit slip for total amount of checks, while some others give an entry for each check. For the bank ledger to match this, in the attributes of the bank, specifically document format definition for check take transaction has an attribute bulk entry. If it is ticked, bank ledger will have one entry per deposit, while if it is not ticked, it will have one entry per deposited check. There are times, very rare, when confirmed deposit may have to be reversed as they have been deposited different bank account. This is different from cancelling, which is done on a deposit transaction that is not confirmed. The reverse option really reverses the effect of deposit transaction generating a new transaction. It is opposite. However, this will not be allowed if the bank reconciliation using this transaction has been completed. If there were multiple checks that were deposited, it will reverse all such checks as well. The checks deposited in the transaction can be viewed before reversing. Debt collectors go to the customers far from the office, collect the outstanding and issue manual receipts. At regular intervals, they would deposit their collections, both cash and checks, to the bank. They could use laptops and capture the transactions or submit the documents when they arrive at the office. Whichever manner they do, each debt collector should be treated as a collection point, and the transactions should be entered using the debt collector collection point. So should be the cash deposit and check deposits. Debt collection department staff collected the Rs 25,000 check from Soft Logic on 30th April, issued receipt to 49 and deposited on 30th April, and WhatsApp the deposit slip and deposit slip on 30th April. In this dialog, manual receipt number issued should be captured. Unlike other ones, receipt number will not be generated by the system. Debt collection department staff collected the LKR 15000 cash form calls on 30th April, issued receipt to 50 and deposited on 30th April, and gave the deposit slip and manual receipt on 30th April.